We give 2 awards every year in honor of 2 pioneers in our field, 2 people whose contribution to anti-cult, pro-freedom were monumental, and 2 people whose presence is always missed at every one of our conferences, but who are always in our minds. The first award is the Herbert L. Rosedale Award. And this award is given in recognition of leadership in the effort to preserve and protect individual freedom. Past recipients of the Herbert L. Rosedale Award include Alan Shefflin, Atención, Investigación y Sociediciones, and someday I'm going to pronounce that.
It's easy for you to
well. Rod Dubrow-Marshall, Paul Martin, Michael Propfeld, Japan's National Network of Lawyers Against Spiritual Sales, and Francois Bellinger. Francois Bellinger. Presenting the Rosedale Award just in the nick of time is Dr. Steve Eichel. Stefan Eichel.
I really wish we were here to receive this. Unfortunately, it is not. Nevertheless, it is my great honor to present the Herb Rosedale Award for 2010 to Dr. Arthur Dole. I'm going to try to be brief, which will be a real challenge, because I could really, there's so much that I can say about art, so I will try to be very brief. Art, for those of us who know him, is truly a giant in the field, and just more than that, he is a courageous and truly one of the most decent individuals that I've ever met. I first met Art in 1976, so that goes back a little way, although I still think he did not have hair then either, but I did. And I've done an independent research project in which I allowed myself to be recruited into the Moonies, into the Unification Church. I underwent their indoctrination at Barrytown, in their Barrytown Seminary in New York State. And very fortunately, and by pure luck, I had read my college roommate's paper. He had taken social psychology that semester, and he wrote a paper, and just by coincidence, his paper happened to have been on brainwashing. In which that was the first time I'd ever exposed, I'd taken social psychology, I was a psychology major, but I had never heard of Robert J. Lifton or Edgar Schein. And here my roommate, Ken Brightfield, wrote this paper and went through the processes that were utilized in thought reform programs as per Lifton and Edgar Schein. So I go to Barrytown, and it's like within 2 days, I'm like, oh my God, that's what's going on here. Anyway, I wrote this paper, applying to graduate schools, figured, well, it's a little unique, it's a little unusual. Nobody had ever heard of this stuff. This is 1975. Nobody had ever heard of this stuff before. And I sent it to every graduate school that I applied to in the fall of '75. I get, I hear from some graduate schools and not from others. You all know how that works. And I get a call from the university, I get a letter from the University of Pennsylvania inviting me in for a group interview, which is a good thing. And so I travel to Philadelphia, and I'm there for the group interview, and here comes this man. And for those of you who know Art Dole, you know what I'm talking about here. Art is a man of few words, to say the least. He listens extremely well. His speech is very measured, and he's the opposite of me. So he comes up to me and he says, "Oh, I read your paper on the unification, on your experiences in Barrytown, and I'm really interested in what you wrote about and what you thought about it, and talk to me more about it." So I talked to him for about 15-20 minutes about it, how this group is a really nasty group, it's a it's a mind-controlled group, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And at the very end of that, he looks at me, and the typical Art Dole style, just, really straight-faced, deadpan, not showing you how he feels. And those of you who know Art, you know what I'm talking about. He goes like, "My daughter's a member of the Unification Church." At which point I just said, "Well, I can kiss this graduate school goodbye." I just told him his daughter's in a cult. And I mean, there was no indication on his part that, "Oh my God, my daughter's in a cult," or anything like that. He just said, "Well, my daughter's a member of the Unification Church." So I pretty much forgot about the University of Pennsylvania after that. That was the end of that for me. But a few weeks later, I not only get an acceptance letter, but I get a full scholarship. Art served as my mentor throughout my entire graduate school career and then beyond. And as some of you know, my doctoral dissertation was an intensive study in actuarial as well as an experiential study of deprogramming. To this day, I believe the only one that has ever been done. And Art was just absolutely instrumental. He was a devoted civil libertarian. It took him it was a tremendous struggle. Initially, got his daughter to agree to speak with a deprogrammer on a voluntary basis. She did that for a day, did nothing. He managed to get her to come in to talk to a class that I was in. And he did that specifically because he wanted me to talk to her and observe her. And I did, Barbara Dole. And afterwards he asked me, he said, "Well, what do you think? Do you really think she's under some form of mind control?" Now this guy, he's my advisor, he's my professor, he's, I'm telling you this about his own daughter. But I said, Art, and he always encouraged us to call him Art. It was, after the first year, it was no longer Dr. Dole. I said, "Art, yeah, I really think she's under mind control. I don't think we're going to get her out." I guess about maybe a month or two later, I come to class and Art's not there. And I ask around, where's Art? "Oh, well, he's away for a few days." "When's he coming back?" "We're not sure. Why he's away?" "We're not really sure why." And of course I thought, aha. Art hired a deprogrammer. That's exactly what happened. And as much as we talk about deprogramming as having been, as much criticism as we rightfully have of the old style of deprogramming, nevertheless, this was a successful deprogramming. Barbara Dole left the Unification Church and went on with her life and is doing wonderful work and has produced excellent offspring for Art, and she's just doing quite well. And of course, Art continued with his involvement. He became involved with the Cult Awareness Network, and then when AFF formed, he very immediately gravitated toward Michael Langoni at AFF, became intimately involved, especially on the research end of it, sponsored a lot of studies, sponsored a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of individuals in the field, and really just over a period of, let's see, we're now talking about 35 years, over a period of 35 years, served as a mentor, served as an inspiration, served as a research guiding light for many, many people in the field. Always available, always, I don't know where the man gets his energy, how he's able to read the amount that he's able to read and remember it. I mean, I know a lot, do I remember it? Just an incredible individual, so it is absolutely my deepest honor to present this award to Dr. Arthur Dole, and I guess, yes, and which will be sent to him by Bill Goldberg. So thank you very much for letting me speak on
Margaret Thaler Singer was an individual who cannot be categorized. She was a classy woman. She was a friendly, warm, sensitive individual. But when it came to testifying against cults, she was the best there ever was and probably the best there ever will be. It could be hard as nails and not let the cults get away with anything. She was brilliant. She was an author. She was a teacher. She was a mentor. And we honor her every year and honor her memory with a Margaret Thaler Singer Award for advancing the understanding of coercive persuasion and undue influence. Previous recipients of this award have included Philip Elberg, Carmen L. Mendros, Arnold Markowitz, Yanya Lelich, Carol Giambalvo, and Lorna Goldberg. Carol Giambalvo is going to present this year's Margaret Thaler Singer Award.
Hi. Hi. Is this okay now? Yes. Okay,
Yep.
good. The first edition of ICSA Today contained an article on the Colorado model of ICSA's recovery workshops. It is my honor today to, I'm going to cry, to present the Margaret Singer Award to the team of facilitators who helped develop that model. This is our 17th year of putting that model in place. For this workshop, it has truly been a privilege to work with this team, who for the first 10 years actually paid their own registration fees in order to volunteer their services. Each one of them believes in the strength and courage of former members and have made themselves available to make certain that the former members get the information, the psychoeducation to empower their own individual recovery. Unfortunately, the majority of the team were unable to attend the conference, but here to accept their awards are Roseanne Henry and Joyce Martello. Before they get to say something, I've already been told I'm in trouble. The other recipients who were unable to be here today are Nancy Michelon, Michael Martella, Leona Fernelli, and Hal Mansfield.
Wow, I wasn't expecting What I'm thrilled about is that it's all of us and not one of us receiving this award, because this only happens as a group. And whatever it is that we do in this workshop that works is a combination of us facilitators, as I said earlier, covering each other's backs and working together and focusing on the needs of ex-members and listening and adapting and doing what needs to happen for people to heal. And it's been my greatest work is this group work and my ex-cult recovery work. And feel very lucky to be part of this team and to be working with these people. Thank you very much.
I just feel really honored to have been a part of this team and to have been accepted into it. When I first started going to the workshops, it was as a person who needed help. And bringing the piece of the second generation adult to this workshop has been my privilege and my honor. And it has been something that has helped my recovery, yes, and been something that has meant a lot to me, to be accepted by these wonderful people who already have laid the groundwork, and then been able to come in and actually join them in this effort of having workshops where people who were wounded could come and get some healing. And thank you very much, and I know that my husband would be thanking you too, Michael. Thank you.
There seems to be one additional award left over here. The leader of the Colorado team must be honored along with her team members.
Yes.
Carol Jean Balvo is the architect who got everybody together and who keeps things rolling in the Colorado model. This is unprecedented because this is the second time that Carol Jean Balvo has been given the Margaret Thaler Singer Award. And Carol Jean Balvo is pretty unprecedented too.
For the first time in my life, I'm speechless. Pulled one over on me too. He's in trouble. Thank you.
I'm Mike Rothfeld, and for those that know me well, I'm not a man of a few words. However, you're fortunate I've written out what I want to say today. This year, the Board of Directors of the International Cultic Studies Association has decided to present a special Lifetime Achievement Award to an individual we all felt was more than deserving of this recognition. The honoree is someone who has worked tirelessly in this field for over 30 years, and whenever asked, has always been gracious in giving of his time and expertise in helping families and former members, and in his efforts in support of ICSA. I asked to present this award not only as a representative of the board of ICSA, but also because of a long and treasured history with the recipient. Some of you may already deduced who the individual is, and if so, please bear with me as I touch briefly on some of his numerous activities and achievements. He is a resident of this fair state, an amateur mind reader / magician, an engaging and humorous speaker, and a cherished friend. He has written articles on therapeutic programs for chronically mentally ill young adults and the tricks employed by so-called psychics, and has contributed chapters to several books on cults. He has appeared on the ABC Nightly News, the Sally Jesse Raphael Show, the John McLaughlin Show, MSNBC, and the Geraldo Rivera Show. He has been invited to testify before several state legislatures on regulations affecting residents of adult homes, as well as on cult-related matters. He's testified before the New York State Assembly Committee on Child Care, the New York State Social Service Committee, the New Jersey State Assembly Judiciary Committee, and the Connecticut State Judiciary Committee. Along with his wife, he is a recipient of the Hall of Fame Award from the Authentic Cult Awareness Network and the Leo J. Ryan Award from the Leo J. Ryan Foundation. Also with his wife, he co-leads a support group for former cult members, which is the oldest group of its kind in the country. He is a certified social worker, board-certified diplomat in clinical social work, and since the 1970s has a private practice in psychotherapy. He recently retired from the Rockland County Department of Mental Health, where he directed 3 outpatient programs. Retirement hasn't slowed our recipient any, as he recently graduated and became certified as a psychoanalyst. And as soon as I heard it, I thought instantly that Woody Allen would probably be his first patient. In addition to his cult-related work, he teaches 3 courses at Dominican College on deviance, sociology of religion, and social problems. And from a trusted source, I hear that the subject of cult is discussed in all 3. It is indeed a great honor for me to present the ICSA Lifetime Achievement Award to William Bill Goldberg.